Hello and welcome. This is AlchemistExe. It's been a little while or something of a dead week last week, but this week it is definitely not the case. A new alter class for Izayoi, a brand new memento for Jin, Ren, and regular / link version of Yomi. Basically a regional type memento that we've seen before. This one I think is pretty good. And then we've also got some special 888 gem banners, which is the case here. They are a bit more noteworthy than other ones in that they do give a guaranteed limited either unit or memento, which is nice. It definitely adds some value to it, even if the results here aren't particularly great. I will have more to say about that later when I talk about banners, because without this there's not much to say about banners. Mostly I want to talk a bit about Izayoi because I think her alter class looks very, very good. It looks like there's a lot of utility built into her kit. And then I also want to talk about some of the other stuff that is upcoming, because that can help us understand like how we want to spend our gems. So first up, let's talk about Izayoi. Okay, so I managed to find a fully built Izayoi in an arena fight, well, with also a Yomi link. So this is pretty good because that's kind of relevant to the stuff this week. They also completely destroyed my arena team, which, you know, it's not, I don't win all the time. There's definitely some units like Edgar and Tina that can be a little bit harder to deal with, Mikaboshi especially, but they just got so shut down in this fight that I thought it was noteworthy because, you know, you got two dragons and Dios, and two of them got raged, and that basically made it so they were completely useless in the fight. And Dios was able to hold on a little bit longer, but it wasn't like he was able to do any significant damage to Izayoi at all. So I think that is noteworthy. I think as a tank, she could be very, very handy to have. I know that that is a bit of a crowded place with Wind having Oct, having Flammel, etc. But she does some stuff that they don't do. She provides buffs, particularly slash buffs. So if you are a fan of Einslink like I am, being able to have another unit, especially somebody you can rely on to not die easily, also provide a very strong attacker with more damage, I think that's a really, really big plus. Some of her utility is going to depend on her ability to inflict rage on an enemy, but even if she can't inflict rage, she still has a lot of debuffs in her kit. She has got just all parameters down. She can also give jewels to allies while also giving herself a powerful heal. She has a preemptive counter that does knockback, so anybody with a short amount of range can end up losing their turn because of that. And then she's also just very good against single target. So overall, there's a lot that she does that, you know, there's no one thing that's really, really crazy, but when you put it all together, you have somebody who's got good role consolidation. So taking that into account, I think she's a pretty easy case of being worth the alter class as long as you've got the need for a tank and you're going to benefit from Wind or Slash in particular, or you're running Wadatsumi teams. So there's definitely a good chunk of cases there. It definitely helps if you have a limited memento. I don't, but I'm hoping to get it sometime in the near future. So next up, I want to talk a bit about some of the other stuff related to the half anniversary, things that we can expect to see, that kind of thing. So let's go ahead and move on to that. Okay, the other thing I forgot to mention is I wanted to talk about the brand new memento like I usually do. Oh man, this Veda is going to be, it's going to feel like a slog. I wish there was some kind of auto repeat for Veda. I wouldn't care if it meant I couldn't play the game for like, I don't know, 12 hours or more, if it meant I just didn't have to worry about Veda for a month. Or if it was like 10 floors at a time or something, I'd take that. But it just, oh god, it's so time consuming. But anyway, the Wadatsumi memento. So we're looking at Yomi, Jin, and Ren. I will say that if you are a big fan of Yomi Link, then this memento is going to provide extra value. She by far gets the best max limit break bonus, which is going to be a skill use +1. For her, that's going to be good. She doesn't have a second memento anyway, and then given that she's a Link unit and they gave away maxed out Yomi, she's an easy unit to max out, you're going to have gate 6 anyway, so you'll have that memento slot, and now you've got something that you can put in it. Depending on how many reliefs you have, it doesn't really matter too much which one you put in the sub slot, especially if you fully max it. But yeah, more damage and an extra skill use, plus elemental resistance up for Wadatsumi and female units for 5 turns on showing up on the map, and then the VCR for her is going to give her a snowball, which is just extra great. So you end up with like a 50% stat increase after she gets hit 5 times. That is really, really good for her. And then in the case of Jin and Ren, they're both going to have an evasion boost after appearing on map. Ren gets evasion and Jin gets the daze modifier to his attacks for max limit break, so it's a little less noteworthy, but in the case of Ren, just any source of evasion he can get is going to be really good. It should be through the roof, so he'll have a really hard time getting hit, especially if you're playing on manual and you make him face away from things, so he gets the extra evasion. I think that's the extra handy. So Jin for the VCR will get a map-wide poison ability that also has a debuff while they're poisoned. And then Ren is going to get extra attack and extra evasion until he's hit once, which is alright, but definitely it's kind of hard to beat skill use count and snowball, so I definitely think that Yomi is the biggest winner here, but given that it's a 3-person memento, that already is extra value. And consider that both Jin and Ren have job pluses, I guess more than one in Jin's case, so that does make them a potential candidate for an alter class in the future. So overall, even if you don't want to go for the memento right now, because a brand new memento can often be quite expensive in terms of gems, it is definitely a very good one to keep an eye on in the future once it passes the threshold where it starts appearing on more high value banners. Take note of that, and then potentially appearing on a selector if you have just really bad luck from now to maybe 6 months from now. Okay, so on to the stuff to expect. Free unit, free memento, anything through January of 2024. So that is going to include Ein's Link for the unit selector, and then Logi or Dios for the memento one. So it's really, really great. You can get a really strong unit out of that. There's also going to be a bunch of free summons. That's what those tickets are going to be for. It's units and mementos. So definitely I would plan on, before you go deep into a banner or how you use the selector, wait until all the free summons are done, because you might get lucky with something like that. But overall, it looks really nice. There's also going to be a lot of multipliers on drops, so if you're raising a bunch of units, definitely that would be the best time to do it. So banners are going to be short, but let's go ahead and take a look, and I'll mostly talk about the 808s. And here we are at the banner. So we'll start with the Wadatsumi memento. As I said, it's a very good memento, but I just think it is an expensive thing to go for unless you are the biggest of fans of the characters involved. Just because with the half anniversary, I think there's going to be a lot of competition for your gems. But keep an eye out in the future. Gears, definitely now is not the time to worry about gears. Then we get to a really good format for a banner, but I don't recommend this one just because of timing. Knowing that you could get any one of these units with the selector in a little over a week really undercuts its value. And yes, it does have the selector for the shards and the coins that you can use. So it is still really, really good. There could be some people out there that are in a position where those shards and the other shards purchased with the coins will put you in a place that could justify the gem expenditure, but I don't think that describes most people. I think just overall central thesis for this week is being more conservative with your gems as we get closer to the actual, like the 28th, the day of the half anniversary. Consider we're going to get a lot of free summons, and for me, usually that doesn't pan out too well, but you never know what can happen. It could even affect how you use the selector, so it's really just a victim of bad timing. Then we have an Ouroboros rerun. Now, if you are going to go hard into a unit, this could be one of the cases, but I would say wait, because this banner is going to be around for quite some time, as you can see, another 19 days. So the only instance where you'll be able to get her, because she's just beyond the time cutoff for, I believe, all of the free summons should go to January of 2024. Same thing with the unit selector, so you would not be able to get her that way. However, You can get her from the 888 gem summons. Of course, that is a very, very, very slim chance. But if you were going to do a few of those anyway, because it's going to be a good way to like guarantee a limited thing for a fairly low gem price, like if you're just trying to get to a certain gem spent threshold, even though it's not that great this week, it's not like coins or anything, it's just elemental shard selectors. But I could definitely, I'd say like 4 times is a good threshold for the 888s. So if you have the gems to spare and you can do like, you could potentially guarantee Ouroboros. Maybe you've done laps in the past, so you're closer to transmuting. If you can spare another like 4K to throw into the 888s, you might get her that way. And then if you do that, you wouldn't have to do this banner. So definitely I'd wait for more dust to settle. But knowing that this is here and it's a potential use to spend your discount tickets could be good if that is what you were going to plan on doing anyway. Yeah, same thing with her memento pretty much. And then for old stuff, there's the swimsuit mementos, but you could get one of these for free if you really, really wanted. And I just think that there's, again, too much competition for gems, especially given that we don't really know what's going to come up in terms of banners. Probably make some good educated guesses, like maybe 7 steps with the selector, maybe some kind of better version of some of the other ones that we know, like the 55 5-star guaranteed. So that's just something to think about as we get closer and closer to 8.5. So yeah, that's all I've got to say for this week. I gotta say, it is nice. I don't feel like my voice is still fully back to normal, but I'm able to record for longer periods of time without it feeling straining, and I'm glad for that, because I definitely enjoy this. That break that I took was mostly so I could recover and because the content was really boring, but I am definitely happy to be back and to be doing this again. Also, Agatha has been very, very fun. So with that, if you are summoning, I'm going to wish you good luck, and I will see you all next time.